Hi guys, what's going on? Welcome. This is Starcraft English commentary. We're going to continue over the ASL S19. It's going to be Group C of round of 16, and we will go on with the loser set. Very surprising to see his hero is here together with Rush. But this group was definitely the group of death, so any of these players could potentially show up in either the winner set or the loser set. It's not a shocking thing because they are all very strong here. Yeah, but ZVT and like I told you before, we are hoping. We're definitely hoping that there will be some sort of representation from the Terran side in the quarterfinals, because we only have light so far, and it's definitely not enough. We want to have more Terran representation in the round of round of 8. Alright, let's see what's happening here. It's gonna be the first map. The first map is Deja Vu, and it looks like Rush is gonna be located at the top right in the white color. These guys look very familiar. I think I've seen you before somewhere. And Hero is going to be located at the top left, and Hero is scouting in the wrong direction with his Overlord, but he's going to be going for, it looks to me that it's a 9 pool, so he's gonna try to get some early zonies out, and this will help counter with Rush's early Marines push here. But I don't know if, I think it's just not enough to really kill off Rush. He will be able to apply a bit of pressure, but I think Rush will be able to defend correctly, so I think ultimately the advantage would still go back to Rush's side. This is my understanding of the situation. Anyhow, let's see how these players can be progressing. We are gonna see finally the SCV coming out to scout, and this SCV is gonna have to go in the right direction, but it looks like he's not going in the right direction for the time being. Just checking out the other side of the map. Spawning pool completed. We are seeing the gas gets taken, and momentarily there are going to be some Zerglings, but of course the question is, how many exactly, how many Zerglings will be made. For the time being, this other SB will try to check in the situation inside of the enemy's main base, and he can start to see that there are some Zerglings moving across, gas being mined. SCV will not be able to see what is on high ground, I think, but looks like the Zerglings allow the SCV to get past, and he directly go towards the top right of the map, but it's not going to be the right decision here, because complete wall finishing for Rush. He will try to cover the top opening with an SCV. He's got 2 Marine now, and I think it's just enough to hold here for the time being. So the Zerglings will contain themselves with just attacking this SCV and see if we can actually get some damages done. But so far, for the timing, the game is gonna settle down, and we shall see the next move from both of these players, notably from Hero, because he's the one who's dictating the pace of the game. As for Rush, his choice to go for barracks or to go for factory is rather clear, I think, because now he takes the extractor, or the refinery rather, and he's gonna start to make, I think, academy, engineering bay, and barracks, and so forth. So I'm gonna take this chance to start to thank some of my fans whose support I could not live without in the last 3 days. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Matt Damon for your support. What's going on? Very nice to have you on with me for, I think, something like a year now, right? We've had an excellent relationship, albeit it's not really consensual, nor was it sensual, or nor was it polygamous, because I have other people that I would like to thank here. But it was a fun one, rest assured. Mr. Alex, wherever you're from, thank you for your support in the last 2 days. Mr. McDonald, how are you doing? Do you have any more floods in the United States? Are your families doing okay? And what else is happening with you at large? Are you playing Starcraft? Do you play Protoss or Terran or what? Mr. Peter from Sweden, I have not heard from you at all after that one fine Monday morning when you sent me coffee. What is going on with you? Mr. Sea Goblin, what's up, man? Send me a message. And last but not least, Mr. Red Terran Raid, what's going on? Thanks a lot for all of your comments and your support on my live stream. And the last person I'd like to thank is going to be the VIP, Mr. Matt Damon. Here he is, in big, large, bold letters and facial recognitions. Thanks a lot for your support. Let's get back to this game, and we're going to be anticipating the Mutinous Harassments, very typical now coming from Hero. He's got a 3rd hatchery inside, and that base, that hatchery is rather difficult to spot. If you don't scan in the right place, you will not get it. And if you scan and you get it, you will not get other buildings, because that's just the way that these you know, these buildings have been really nicely spaced out from Hero. We are seeing Marines start to move out because they want to try to push those units back a bit and see if we can actually get some business done. But so far it looks to me like Mutualists will be on time. Yeah, these Marines, even though they're stimming, I think they will not be able to reach Hero's expansion on time and do any kind of damages on the drones. So they will stay on this high ground. Zerglings are waiting under the row, but they're going to try to get surrounded. Very good for Rush to preemptively corner those Zerglings, and one died. He's going to try to split themselves up, and he loses yet another Zerglings. He loses 3 Zerglings in total. So that's not good. So Hero is actually facing imminent elimination if he doesn't play it correctly here. He's got 2 chances to win the games, and then he's gotta have to fight one more in fight against Mini in the possibly in the rematch, and that is gonna be interesting because I think the first match, Hero was taken by surprise by this weird build that Mini has pulled out, and this is actually sometimes a very nice distinctive advantage, you know, like in chess. You know the other guy is so solid, he's so much better than you, that you know for sure the only way for you to win is essentially go for something kind of cheesy that's out of the book and just hope, let's pray to God that the other guy have not mentioned or have not memorized the correct responses to your build, I think. Anyways, these Mutualists are numbering around 8, and they are trying very hard to do some shots now, some attacks on the Marines. So far, neither the Marines nor the Mutualists have taken a large toll here. Now we have 9 Mutualists, and I think it's going to be better, I think, for Hero to try to go to the main. He's got to be very careful because the Marines are staying way out there in the open area, which means any attempt by Hero to go too far towards enemy terrain will result in the Marines starting to move towards his expansion. It looks like Marines actually returning now, and Zerglings are trying to go for a surround, but so far not able to do so. These two are going to get targeted upon, and Marines need to stim. They actually go for the attack, and the turret get destroyed. Very lucky for Hero to only take 2 shots to actually destroy it. He will attack against the other turret, and he got it destroyed as well. With a nice splash damage, looks like the SCV is not coming out to repair. The Marines are getting on the high ground, and the SCV repairs the turret, so the turret will live for a while. But good Mutualist attack, excuse me, to get some of these Marines on the low ground dwindling, and we'll be having a surround on the bottom left on the screen. And Hero is sticking to this Mutus build, which is nice, but I don't think he's doing the kind of damage he needs to be doing against Rush. And if he cannot get any damages done, then he's gonna suffer in the mid game. I guess we are in the mid game, but I'm talking about mid to late game here. We don't see a 4th base. Of course, Hero is hoping to put the expansion at the bottom left. There's gonna be a Hydra then out of just 2 bases and 3 hatcheries, and completely scanned by Rush. So what is going to be the response to that, we shall see. For the time being, this Mutualist is numbering around 11 and doing good damage though. On the supply depots, getting a Marine here and there, but overall not like insanely game-changing decisions by either of these players, especially from Hero. He is cornering some of his Mutualists outside on the high ground. Deja Vu, keep in mind you have this high ground that kind of, you know, wraps around your enemy's expansion at 3rd base. Expansion for Hero will come up at the bottom left, and I think Rush is not yet scanning it for the timing. One Mutualist gets sniped here, and I guess Hero is gonna have to play it very careful. He's gonna come up to Hive now. He would need to make some lurkers and just pray to God that he will survive until the science vessels come out. He can have the adequate block on the high ground, and this first starport is out. The second starport is going to be double starport built. And do we have drop potential for this map? I think it's definitely something that is possible, that could actually be laid on the table, but I feel like it's not that big of a deal, you know, a game-changing factor, because yeah, I guess the bases are rather large, but there's no weird symmetry where it's, you know, definitely more beneficial for one player to drop from the back into the other guy's main base. And these spawning positions don't really favor drops, because neither of these players can actually get into the other guy's bases successfully, especially for Hero, especially for Rush. Hero can get into Rush's main base nicely, but in TVZ you rarely see the Zerg going for drop anyways. Looks like these Marines are coming out very strong. Do we have the threat of stop lurkers? I think the stop lurkers are not on these high grounds. They're a little bit somewhere else. They're possibly on the low ground. There's going to be some Sunkens first, but the Marines are very close to the expansion. They could stim right now. The Sunkens are not yet completed, and Mutualists are going to try to return, but they're not in large enough in number. It looks like Heroes gonna get pushed back hard. There's still enough Marines to deal damage to the Sunkens. The first Sunken has fallen. There are only 3 meters remaining. Zerg is trying to surround from the back to go for the medics. And they're lonely Zergs. We have lurkers. These lurkers are morphing in the wrong location, but they're surround now. So I guess the number of drones that fell was not very high. He just lost a couple of Sunkens. So why were those lurkers out of position? That was the question I wanted to ask, because I felt like they could have just completely saved that area if he was placed in the right location, but it looks to me that that was not the case. Anyhow, the game will have to continue on now, and we will be having these lurkers trying to contain the enemy. We have 4 lurkers. Of course, they're completely spotted. I think the first science vessels will be coming out soon. That is to be expected. So I think these lurkers will have no chance to go for any kind of surprise attack, but they would try to at least corner the Marines. And maybe try to catch some of the off-guard +1 weapons are done on the Marine, and looks like Rush is gonna be in some serious trouble soon. He needs to actually relieve his front force with some background support. A single science vessel is here to spot. The lurkers are actually not able to do things. Possibly gonna try to stop reinforcement. He's gonna try to go towards the expansion, but there a turret. Is it a bunker? That looks to me like could be a bunker. Yeah, but for the time being, it still looks to me like Rush is still slightly ahead, but at least this bunker will fall, but there's nothing inside it. Marines are trying to get back from the high ground. Lurkers get irradiated. They have to, they're forced to completely go home now, but at least one lurker will stay and die for the cause, for the swarm, for the celebrate. Alright, we're looking at the 11-minute mark of the game, and we have the first Defiler out. I'm not so sure how Hero could actually afford gas first Defiler, but nonetheless, they are here. They are here to stay. And Defiler will be able to cast some good Dark Storm to protect those Marines.
해철이 다수 밀릴 때까지 버티는데 시간이 한 세월 걸릴 것 같아요. 자, 위로 들어가서 여기는 디팔로 들어가 있는데요.
Alright, looks like the first Defiler has been nicely irradiated. The Scourges are coming, but they're a little bit too late. They get one Science Vessel, which is not a bad idea, and a chance for backstab by Hero towards the middle of the map. He's gonna try to get anything he can get, some random Marines, but looks like there is not enough Marines to take care of these mutas, and they gain some advantage on the low ground. First Nidus Canal is connecting the rest of the base. So Hero has temporarily relieved himself of the early pressure from Marine, and the question is, can he actually survive the long game and actually get to 4 bases with 4 gas chambers, with which he will be able to actually come back very strong. But that is something we should suspect in the mid to late game now. But for the timing, looks like no switch to mech yet initiated by Rush. He's just gonna stick with his pretty much basic fighting principle here, as for Hero is thinking about anti-drop. This is the right idea around this time. It's usually in the Terran players' tendency to go for drops, and as we say it, there it is. Double dropship, possibly full of stuff. But let's see how much success this drop is going to deliver, because we already have some Scourges and some Mutualists. The Mutualists are going to get irradiated. That's that one Nidus Canal that is going to be a complete changing factor here. I think looks like Hero is not in position to stop this. His lurkers actually not in the right position. What about the Nidus Canal? He needs to channel the forces over now. Does he see the drop? Marine's gonna start to attack. The Defiler is here, but there's nothing in the Nidus Canal. He needs to. Oh my god, this is so new mistake here, but he was able to get a single Hydras. A single Hydra attack is coming from the low ground as well as the high ground. The lurker, they get sniped. Lurker's dead! Lurker's gone! So now the drone's gonna get forced to get destroyed. He can actually snipe the hatchery. Forget about the Defiler. Maybe the Defiler could cast a Dark Swarm, a Plague or something on the Marines. But yeah, I mean, this game is completely over for Hero. He'll have a chance to come back in the next game, but he will lose his hatchery. I think it's gonna be very easy now. I think the Science Vessel will come out, just finish up the job. He will finish the last lurker on the high ground, and with that, the forces from the low ground could join up with the forces on the high ground. There's a single lurker. There's nothing else. There's a single lurker and a couple of drones. It looks like Hero is trying to break out. He's gonna have to remake the Nidus Canal. I mean, if Rush for some unknown reason doesn't finish up that hatchery very quickly, actually a Nidus Canal could get recreated. Keep that in mind. But Rush is not finishing up the game. What is he doing at the bottom left of the screen is just beyond me. He comes through now and he will get an extractor. There's nothing. There's no base. There's no Zerglings. There's no Defiler. Everything's gone. This Defiler is gonna try to go for counter-attack here. I'm not so sure how much damage he can get. Maybe we can get some kind of plague, but no, this is gonna be the Doom drop. It goes in the main. Yeah, it's gonna drop a single Marine here just to drive the enemy back, but Scourges have arrived and one dropship gets sniped right away. The dropship unloads some stuff, but it dies as well. So Rush is not yet able to close out the game, but keeping the enemy's drone count and hatchery count to the minimum is just already great in itself. So I should expect that, you know, this game should end momentarily here. Alright, looks like Hero tries to break out again, but he's got no successes. He's pushing hard. And Rush is gonna try to preemptively stop the enemy. He stops it right here, the first. Nice plague! Look at that amazing plague hitting almost onto the prime target. Defiler have to fight hard against this firebat defense here, and the lurkers are dead, so he's gonna have to wait for those lurkers to actually die out. He can eat one of the lurkers. Just can you eat an irradiate lurker as a Defiler? I think it's possible. He's forced to consume the remaining 2 Zerglings, and that Zergling and that Mutilus has been in that location for the longest time. This game is so weird. I feel like both of these players are playing very, very sloppily, especially Rush. I mean, he could easily finish up the game, but he's not doing so. This Defiler should cast a plague possibly, but I'm not seeing it coming through the screen yet. One more senseless guess, but it doesn't really matter. Rush is ahead by a whooping 80 supply. This game will be ending very soon, and we will be gracing ourselves with the second set here. The last of the lurkers pairs will fall, and with that is dashing out the window all of Hero's hopes to win the first game in style here. He will have a chance to come back. Definitely, it's not the end of the world. But another hatchery, another commentated, excuse me, coming through, and yeah. All right, what are we seeing happening now? Hero. 62 supply, Rush 138. Rush is gonna be mined out in his main, but he's got a new base coming up. But looks like some Zerg is gonna try to stop that base from coming up. He's gonna try to go. He's gonna move towards his new base with a couple of Hydras. They're not supported with anything. He's gonna try to attack the bunker. SCVs are not repairing, and he needs to start to repair now. But the bunker will fall very quickly. No, they're not. Okay, that's just enough to actually kill the bunker, but the reinforcing Marines is very, very strong. So looks like that base gets saved, and all of the Hydras get pushed back. Hero is still trying desperately, but he's so far behind that he cannot get anything done. And Marine's gonna attack against the expansion. The Defiler is gonna try to cast something, but it will die very, very quickly. The Firebats are marching towards the Defiler. It gets sniped. There's nothing to defend here. GG is gonna call. So if you enjoyed this, guys, goodbye. Because it's gonna be individual decisions. You know, win or lose the set 2 season. Bye bye.